Here's another pipe lighter, guys. This is what they call I guess it's Rowenta, made in West Germany. So you know it's made from prior to 1990, around that area before. Alright. Now, when I first got this in my hand, I thought, that's a quality built lighter, I can just tell, Nice little flip top on it and everything, and it does feel quality, Only negative I got against this thing, it's got a plastic tank in it. But it's not like the plastic tanks they got now, it's a durable plastic tank, okay? Alright. I'm going to disassemble this lighter here for you. And the thing I had to do to it to kind of fix it. But a couple of little quirks that I don't like about it, once you take this, you got to kind of hold this top down. But once you remove the flint spring here, this does come up. Well, it's not so bad right now. I guess I needed to tighten it down before. Alright, I guess it's not bad. Alright, but anyway, let's take it apart. Remove your flint spring. Yeah, flint fell out right there. And Phillips screwdriver. Turn counterclockwise. And you got to be careful on this too. Keep in mind that this screw here goes into a plastic tank, okay? So you don't want to over tighten that down. Alright, there's what you're looking at there. Now, well, from this point, you can just push it out. There's your metal sleeve. There's your little pipe line that actually has some adhesive on the back that holds it onto the tank here, which you can see the circle. There's your roller assembly. And here's your tank. Now these tanks really aren't so bad. They're not that bad at all, actually. I'm just going to leave this bottom plate on. This bottom plate right here comes off with a screw, and it's actually adhesive based to here. So, you don't ever want to, on these lighters, you don't ever want to not put the filler screw back in, because you stand a chance of maybe losing your bottom plate if that adhesive, gets dried to the point it's not sticking anymore. One thing I do notice, and I want to tell you guys, you got one of these lighters, when you take that apart, I would mark this filler valve right here. You can see right here that I put some, let me focus in here. Let me bring my light down here. Before I had that inside, kind of inside the camera there, like that, give me a little more light. You can see I got some scratches right here. I marked that toward where this here gas valve exit on here should point to, okay, because this here screw, when it tightens down, it gets to a certain point, and if you get this valve in, it'll fit in there any direction. If you get it in the wrong direction, you'll have to unscrew it back out and turn this valve around. Also too, this valve has a washer on it, but it's not your typical washer. It's concave, okay? So you don't want to lose that. Let me get something here. I'm trying to do this behind the camera here, so bear with me a minute here. Okay, it has a recessed area inside there, if you can see it, kind of tapered. What that does, it goes over your O-ring on top of here and mashes it down and seals it, okay? Now there's a valve inside here, alright? I'm going to pop out here. Now usually, alright, just a second. Now you don't know, but that's how that's put together like that. But what you got to remember, right there, you come out this time. There's a spring inside that goes over this valve. Okay? And you want to make sure, guys, when you're taking stuff apart, you know, get it all together assembled like that and take a close-up photo so if you have and kind of feel the tension of the spring. So if there's some confusion when you go putting them back together, you know, you can refer back to your photo, you know, and get things kind of worked out. I mean, I've had to do that myself because, you know, sometimes things get left overnight, they don't get fixed immediately and whatnot. So anyway, you know, let me take this off. There's an adjustment valve. That just slips, this here just slips over here. This is basically what limits your adjustment on your flame, your high flame and, you know, low flame, okay? It is no big deal. You can, you know, when you put it back together, if you got one of these and service it, you can do that, you know, later. Let's see here. Okay. Alright. There we go there. Don't want to lose that O-ring. It's kind of specific. And this little valve right here just screws out. This is basically here is just a little filter because, you know, your gas comes out of here and or goes in through here, and that's just to kind of keep it, you know, filtered, so to speak. Now inside here, I don't know if this will bring it out or not, but probably not. Inside here, this area here, guys, there's a little filter. Alright, you know, like I show you, a little sponge filter. Okay, there's a little hole, a valve, and this valve right here. Let me get this. And there's a little stopper right here. Well, I don't know if you guys can see this. See that little stopper? Alright, now I need to make this stopper a little longer. I've had this lighter part working on it, and let me tell you something about this. I need to make this stopper a little longer, okay, because I cut it off. Let me get it out. you see how little that is? I'm going to tell you what this reminds me of. This is about the exact same size as a Dunhill roller gas. Alright? But I'll tell you what though. You see a hole in here? That hole wasn't there before. I drilled that hole in there to get that stopper to mount inside here, because all this had before was a stopper on the outside. It was like glued on. So, if you got one of these lighters and you're having trouble with the stopper, oh, boy, you got problems. Let's just face it, you got problems. And I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get it to focus in. Maybe I got too much. There we go. This is tedious work, folks. I had to hand drill that. And you say, well, how'd they do it? Well, the first thing you do is you want to make sure you get your point started on center. Once you get your point started on center, I had a little Dremel tool just laid down here. And I just kind of took this into my drill, little by little. You got to go little by little, make sure you stay on center in here, okay? So, and the length of these makes the difference on whether your gas is going to be shut off by the flipper, okay? Because if you're off just a little bit, this gas valve right here, see how it goes up and down inside? When you close your lid, it pushes down on the spring, pushes down on this valve here, like that, and puts the stopper over the hole that's inside this valve assembly here. Okay? So, very, very tedious work. And you can see the little indentation right here in the lid where this has been slapping against the valve, on top. Now, I'm not a big fan of that. I might end up drilling that out and putting a rubber, Butane 70 grade rubber plug in there to stop the hammering on that filler valve. Okay, because over a period of years and decades, well, probably decades actually, you're going to mash this valve at the top of this valve down, and you're going to lose clearance, and possibly the lighter could stop, working right as far as, leaking, develop a leak. Now this gas tank is a durable gas tank. I don't worry about that, okay? I just don't like, you got to be careful putting your screws and everything back in and everything. But never had any trouble with these tanks. Alright, now I've got to cut a seat for this a little bit longer than the other one. It's tedious work because I got to make sure it's flat and everything, so I'm going to do that off camera and reassemble this. So you guys, looking for information, if you have to have one of these pipe lighters here to know how to rebuild it, I just gave you a good idea. Now, all you got to do is backtrack the video to reassemble everything. Now this washer right here, keep in mind, this is not a flat washer. Flat on the top, but you can see it's got a little angle on the inside, so when you tighten it down, the washer wants to sink in a little bit. Okay, so it's got a taper right around here. Alright, so be careful. You don't want to mess that up. You're going to have a hard time finding one of them. You'll never find one of them unless you get the exact lighter, or you're going to have somebody that's got a lathe make you one. And if you do burger it up and mess it up, just save it, because you might get somebody that's got a little mini lathe or something like that can possibly get a piece of brass, measure the external dimensions on it, and bore you a taper and a hole through it and make you another one. Probably cost you more than a lighter's worth, but you know, nevertheless. These vintage lighters, you know, don't when you repair them, doesn't always go according to plan, you know. So anyway, you got to do what you got to do on that. So anyway, not a bad lighter really. I mean, it feels good in the hands. It does. Case is nice. I don't think it's silver. I think it's just kind of a brushed chrome, but it's durable. It's thick and it's durable. Okay, it's sturdy, and the valve system is good. It's a good quality. Okay, and once you get, if you got one of these, excuse me guys, my clock in here above my desk. But anyway, if you got one of these, you're having trouble with it leaking, you probably got a problem with the stopper, okay? The best thing I can tell you to do is get some small micro bits, the Dremel, and just drill it out. I've done this here modification as well to Dunhill roller gas valves, okay? Because a lot of guys, you know, they cut them and glue them and you gotta wait days, and I've done that and they wouldn't take, and it's just a big hassle. And I went ahead and drilled it out because those Dunhill roller valve pipe or any kind of valve that's in a Dunhill roller gas, on the older ones I'm talking about anyway, it's got that type of rubber stopper in it. Basically they got a real shallow depth to them for the stopper. Then they got a crimp that crimps the end of the stopper. So my theory is when they need to replace that you know, valve, for instance, they just throw it away and put another one in, okay? Because there's just no way them guys can repair that in the amount of time and make any money on it. So it's a throwaway part. Well, you know as well as I do, nowadays with Dunhills and other vintage lighters like this, you can't throw parts away because they're not readily available. Well, anyway, gives you an idea, guys, of this lighter here and what you're dealing with, okay? Now, on a scale 1 to 10, so, and you know, this lighter it's about as close as being difficult to work on. I don't recommend this to anybody that doesn't have any proper equipment, tools, or patience, or any idea what to expect. Okay, I mean, if you want to start fixing a lighter, start on something like this. These are easy fixes here. All right, easy fixes and durable. Anyway, guys, this is again, this is a Rowenta. Okay, made in West Germany. Pipe lighter. Okay. I get this lighter fixed, it'll either stay in my collection or go back up on for sale or something. But it's nice, it's unique, and it's actually kind of neat, you know. So anyway, guys, if you got this type of lighter now, they also, FYI, they also make a lighter like this that's just got a regular flame to it. Doesn't have the pipe valve in it, okay, for a angled flame. So it's going to be the same process of rebuilding that than it would be the pipe valve, because the only difference in pipe valve and regular flame is just going to be the hole in the side compared to the top right here on your valve assembly, okay? Just so you'll know. Alright, guys.